Hello everyone, this is Jesse Wellhafer. I'm really excited to put together this getting started guide for you. There's just a lot of functionality that we built out in Mission Pillars, put a lot of hard work into it, and we want to make sure that you know what's available as well as how to use it so you can get the most out of it. Now this getting started guide is going to be specific to the CRM tab and not the accounting tab. So what are we going to be looking at today? First, we'll be looking at the dashboard and how you can configure your dashboard, which is pretty cool. We'll be looking at contacts and all the great things you can do with the stored contacts that you have. Tags and purposes, and I'll go over the importance of tags in our system so you can use them in communications and lists and everything else like that. So really important, our auto tagging system. Contributions, how you'll be able to see your online and add offline and edit them and everything else. We'll show you how to add admins so other people can log in and manage stuff. We've got a great events module that lets you set up events. People can buy tickets, you can scan tickets at the door. We also have a custom form builder that's really popular and helpful. We allow people to sign up for small groups, which makes it easier for you to communicate with them. We've got a great pledge system that allows people to pledge online, but it also reminds them to give, which is great. So we help you turn those pledges into real donations. We'll go into lists and how those work with tags, and we'll show you how to do some email and print communications, as well as SMS communications, which is pretty cool. And we also have a child check-in feature. So really excited to jump right in and start going over these with you. All right, the first thing I want to show you is the configurable dashboard. The really cool thing about this is you'll be able to get different metrics right on your dashboard, depending about what you care about most. So for example, if I wanted to add a pie chart, I could just add it like that. Then I'll actually be able to come down and edit it. And then that allows me to choose the metric I want. Say, for example, I want to know my donation statuses. So I'm just going to update that. And then as you can see, now we know how many are failed, complete, etc. And you can also move these widgets around, so you can just grab onto them and move them around or whatever you want to do so they line up and you can put them where you want them to go. So that is a quick intro to the dashboard. Hope you enjoy getting the metrics you want when you log in. Next on the list are your contacts. So you'll be able to see all your contacts here. You can also import contacts and merge contacts. So we could just go to all contacts here if we want. As you can see, since this is a demo system, naturally people put interesting names in, but let's just say I want to go, you can also search up here as well to find a contact at any given time. So once you're in the contact, a number of great things that you'll be able to do here. We give you a highlight of just the health of this contact, how many donations they've done last year, this year, and their latest gift. You'll also be able to add tasks. So for example, if you want to remember to give somebody a call, you'll be able to do that here, which is really great. And along with that, you'll be able to see a timeline of everything they've been doing. So it just kind of keeps up to date, and this includes emails you send to them, text messages, etc. So you get a great snapshot. We also have the tags you'll be able to see there, and we'll get into tags in a little more detail right after this. And then there's actions that you can take. So this is really where you're going to come to do things like edit the contact, edit any relatives they have. You can view all their transactions, edit their tags. You can see the recurring transactions, any groups they're in, any forms they've filled out. You'll also be able to send them an email or even send an SMS, which is pretty cool. You can set their background information and any notes. So background information is great because you can just set that background information. And you can also add notes. So if I want to add a note like can just put a little note in there. That way, anytime you complete a task or anything like that, you've got your notes in there. So that's also very helpful. So a lot you can do here, like I said, within the contact itself. So really use that to your advantage. Make sure you're setting tasks or reaching out to people and thanking them for their gifts and everything like that. Okay, so next, I want to talk about tags a little bit. Tags are really important. So let's go to settings here and go to purposes. So any of the purposes in continue to give will automatically be over here, which is great. So whenever you make a project or purpose or accept another missionary and continue to give, they show up over here. And you can also add new purposes yourself. And campaigns represent the giving pages and continue to give. Now, where this comes into play is also with tags and giving, and I'll explain that in just a little bit. So if we were to go into the auto-generated, we've got our chart of accounts here, which match all our purposes. So these are tags. So the great thing about this is that when somebody donates, say for example to the building fund, our system's automatically going to give that contact the tag building fund. So this is really important to keep in mind because this will come in really handy later once you're making lists or anything like that. So inside here, inside of communications and lists, you'll be able to use those tags. And there's a lot of auto tagging going on here as well. So for example, if someone signs up for an event or joins a group or donates to a specific purpose, they get those tags, which is really great. So that way, if you want to make a list of people that signed up for a group, you can do that. So it's all tag based, which is really nice. So you'll be able to see all the people that are in a list, and you'll also be able to edit. Now keep in mind, our lists are more like filters. You don't move people in and out. You simply say which tags will be part of the list and which tags won't be part of the list. So that can be really helpful as people take certain actions, they'll automatically be part of a list based on the auto tagging and list development that you've made here. Now keep in mind, just because there's auto tagging, you'll also be able to add tags to contacts automatically, which is great. So you can add tags to contacts as well as transactions, which is great. So, use this tag system. I encourage you to keep it simple though. Don't get too crazy, but also put it to good use. Next, let's take a look at contributions or transactions. So anytime somebody donates to you in Continue to Give, it's automatically going to come over here into your Mission Pillar system, which is great. It's always synced. You'll be able to see any transactions people make here. You'll also be able to add transactions. So for example, if somebody gives with cash or anything else like that, you just type in their name and you'll be able to see where they gave to, whether it was a transaction or a purpose, the date, the amount, if it's tax deductible or not, online or offline. So you can always keep everything up to date, even if people are giving via check or cash. And you'll also be able to tag your transactions. I'm not saying you want to tag all your transactions, but if you have specific transaction types that need specific contribution statements sent for those types of transactions, that's when we would say go ahead and tag it so that John Doe, for example, can get two contribution statements from you, one standard one and one that maybe you need different legal wording on if you have that need. So you don't need to use this tagging for things like what purpose it is because it's all already captured up here. So that's how the transactions work. You'll be able to see all your transactions here. Of course, you'll be able to export transactions and do more advanced searching here, which is great. So that's a quick highlight on transactions. Okay, for forms and events, we're going to talk about them both at the same time. Kind of give you an idea how they can be used together and separately. So let's talk about a form first. So we'll just bring up this allergies form. Here we've got a great custom form builder, but we also have some options. For example, when somebody fills out this form, should we give them a tag? That can be really useful if you want to communicate with people based on tags later on. And then also, if your form has a contact field such as first name, last name, and email address, you can set this form up to create or update any contacts based off of matching records. So you can turn that on and off, which is really helpful. You can, of course, notify someone when it's filled out and also give a custom landing page. This is useful if after they fill out the form, you want to take them to your own custom thank you page that you've made. You can also set this form up to accept payments and even have a cover file, cover image. Now, in this example, we're not going to set up to accept payments because we're actually going to use this form in an event that already has payments. So the good thing is you can use these custom form builders on their own, or you can also attach them to an event. So after somebody buys tickets, they can then fill out the form just to make sure everything goes well. So we just call this the allergies form. The great thing about our form builder is you can just add stuff, which is really nice. If you want to drag a text area over, you can. Or if you want to add like radio buttons or drop down fields such as this one, and then you'll be able to edit it, such as do you have allergies, and you can put in the options there. So that's all good stuff right there. So that's kind of how you use the form builder. And then with the form builder, you can share any form that you have. So for example, if you just wanted to do this form itself, you can then share it, which is nice. Now this form of course doesn't have any contact info, so it's a pretty basic form, and that's why we're going to use it on our event. So let's take a look at events. So I just created this event, and it's pretty basic on how to set it up. We've made it very simple. So first we have choose how to capture sign up info. So for example, if you're a church, you may want to choose a public directory so people can just search for themselves, or you can have people sign up using their first, last name, and email. So in this, we'll set it to the public directory. If you set it to this, it'll show up with the form. Put a cover image there, and then gave it a name, Meet at the Falls. So good event, everyone. Let's meet at the Falls. And put the time on there. And then I'm also able to come down here. I'm going to say the ticket should be reserved. and that this is a paid event. And then I can add any number of tickets. So what I did is I added a back of the bus ticket and a front of the bus ticket. So if you're in the back of the bus, you're only paying $1. And then when people register, you can have them auto check-in. We're not going to do that because I'll show you the check-in feature later. And then if I want to add a custom form afterwards, then I can. So for example, this allergies. And I'm going to say the form must be filled in to check in. So we don't want people checking in unless they've actually filled in the form. All right, now that we've got our event all made, how do we actually use it? Well, it's got a copy URL right there. So I can just come over here. So for example, I would take that link, I'd put that on my website and tell people to sign up for the event. They'd click on it and it would come over here and it would tell them all about the event. So I'm going to order a front of the bus ticket for $2 and I'm going to order that right now. So it's asking me to find myself. All right. It's also letting me know that I only have 9 minutes to complete this since it's reserving that ticket. And here it'll bring me over to the standard continue to give payment form, which is nice. It's got $2 in there. Going to process the transaction. And then because we added the allergies form, it's going to ask me if I have any allergies. Now, before I even fill this out, I just want to show you what your check-in screen is going to look like. So at this point, I've paid for front of the bus ticket, but I've not filled out the form. So it lets me know that. And then I can actually fill it out from here, but let's just go ahead and let the user finish filling it out. No, I'm not allergic to anything, so I can submit the form. Great. And then we will have sent this donor or this ticket buyer an email, so I just want to show you what that's going to look like. So they'll get an email that looks like this, and the reason that this is really helpful is because A, it lets them know that they bought the ticket, of course, but B, it also gives you a code that you can scan with the QR code to check them in. So that way you can validate tickets. If it's been scanned more than once, it will let you know that. So that's also very great. So that's a quick rundown of our event system. And as you can see, I have now answered the questions, so I can check into the bus before everybody gets loaded up. I can also view anybody's answers at any time and see what they said. So this is just a great way to use the ticketing system, especially if you have a limited number of tickets and each ticket is a different amount. And you can combine the ticket with our customizable forms, which is really good. And on top of that, you can also use forms separately and stand alone. So that's a rundown on events and forms. Another thing that goes along with our events is really the calendar. So let me just, so when you go on events, you have a calendar, of course. But what I want to show you specifically here is the fact that you can actually share your calendar. So you could add your calendar on your website or wherever. So is what you'll be able to do here. You can have multiple calendars, by the way. So whenever you make a group, then of course it automatically creates a calendar for every group, which is really nice. So different Bible studies or men's groups, whatever, they show up. and any events in different groups will show up in different colors. And then you'll be able to set those calendars to private or public, and then you can share your calendars. So right now it's asking here, what calendars do I want to show? Here I'm just gonna show these two calendars. I'm gonna have it in a calendar view. And if I wanted to embed it on my website, I'd use this. Or if I wanted a link on my website that sent people, it would go over here. And now I'm going to show you the two different views. So here it is as a calendar. So if somebody comes there, they can click on it and they can sign up right from your calendar of events, which is excellent. And we also have the option to, instead of doing a calendar view, we can do a list view. So the link will be slightly different. So if you wanted to have this set up on a computer or something, so people could come and sign up for your events right at a current event or church or something like that. So they'll be able to, this is all in November, see what's in November. And here's a men's Bible study. See if I can find the one that oh, there's Meet at the Falls. So they'll be able to register for that right from here. So that's just a little bit about how you can use the calendar, share the calendar, get it on your website or get a link to it so that people can just go to any event you have and sign up. All right, so jumping into groups, a lot of organizations have groups, so we've built you a great little tool here that makes it easy for people to register to your group and also get tagged so you know they're in the group, and that way you can communicate with them, whether it's email or SMS. So for example, if you've made a group such as Bible study, you'll be able to fill out the information. You can even organize it by folders, give it a name, an image if you want, and a custom sign-up form. So if you want to ask more questions, you would go to our form builder, build a form, and then you can attach it here so that after they sign up, they fill out the form, which is really nice. Then is all you have to do is you're going to want to get the share group link, and you'll copy this. Maybe you're going to add this link to your website, or maybe you're just going to set it up at a touchscreen computer at your church or organization, and then you'd be able to come in here and you would fill it in. Then people can just search for themselves, and if they can't find themselves, they can sign up here and they'll become one of your contacts. So for example, we'll do this test demo giver 1, and they'll join the group. And if you've got this set up at church or your organization's event, we've got this designed so that it's ready for the next person. So you could just have this standing there and anyone could just come and join the group. Self-service kiosk, which is really nice. Then you'll be able to view the members at any given time. And here's the person that just signed up. You can add or remove group leaders as well, which is nice. And then one of the great things though when it comes to communications, you'll be able to put our tag-based system to use, because as you can see, this contact now has the tag group member Bible study because that's the group they signed up for. Tagged them automatically, which is really nice. And let's say I wanted to remove that member. Could just go ahead here and remove the member. And the member no longer has that tag, which is great. So again, a great way just to make it easy for people to sign up with groups. It'll get their tags all ordered for you so that you can email them, send out print, mail to them, or even send out text messages to let people know of changes or other events to stay in communication. Another cool thing about the groups is that we do have a share URL so that if you just want to have a screen set up with all the groups that people can join, maybe a touchscreen computer, there's a share link here. You're just able to copy that. And for example, if you were to set it up on an iPad or whatever, you just use this link and it will display all the different groups that people can sign up for, which is great. That way you can set this up as a self-service kiosk and just let anyone sign up for any of the different groups that people can sign up for. All right, so now we're looking at pledges. So pledges are pretty cool because a pledge is when someone promises to give you money, but they haven't given you money yet. So that's a pledge. So we've got a great system here that helps turn pledges into actual donations. So I'll go through that here quick. First, if you head over to settings and pledges, you'll be able to do a couple things such as the ability to turn on and off reminders with a couple settings here. So for example, 15 days before the pledge date comes, you could send out a reminder email every day reminding them to, hey, time to pay your pledge. And we send out a nice email with a link to your donation form so that they're able to donate that way. Some other notifications that you may want, notify yourself and the donor when a pledge is made, as well as when a payment is made towards a pledge. So those are just a couple notification settings there. Then, to really work in the pledges, the first thing you're going to want to be able to do is make some pledge forms. So for example, here we made a pledge form, and I'll just show you how we can edit it if we want. Basically, you're just saying, you know, what's the name of your form, give a description about it, and then as usual, you know, the purpose being the main thing, where is the money intended for this form, for this pledge. And you can add a custom form onto the end if you want, and then you'll get a share link. So you come in here, again, you take this link and you add on your website or wherever. And pledges are really designed also so that people can make them on their own at home, but as well as, let's say you're in church doing a campaign drive or your nonprofit has a big event, you could put this up on a computer, and it's kind of designed for people just to come in here. They can add their info if they want, or if they're already a member, you know, they can just start filling in their information, say their amount, say they're going to pledge $5, one time or recurring, we'll just go one time, put a promise date in here, and give some comments. So in this case, I'm creating a pledge. I'm promising to give you $5, but I haven't really done that yet. So now the great thing is this will just reset for the next pledge. So again, if you're doing a drive and you're in a location where there's a lot of people, you can just go from person to person collecting the pledge, which is great. Then you can come over here and you can take a look at all your pledges. Here's the $5 pledge that I just gave. And you'll see who it's from, which contact, and as you can see, there's no transactions associated with it yet. Now the great thing about our pledges is that when demo giver gives $5 towards your main organization, no matter how he gives it, it'll update this pledge like, all right, we got that. So it keeps things in sync, which is really nice. All right, next we're going to be talking about lists. Lists are a great way to kind of manage different segmentations. Now keep in mind lists and the way our communications with our mass email and mass SMS work. You don't move people from one list to the next. Instead, you use the tagging system that we've built. So for example, here's contacts in Bible study. So this is a great way. You might want to make a list for every group that you have. So when people sign up, they'll automatically be in the list. So how is this list created? This list is actually created with the tags. So anyone who has the tag inside of the Bible study, these are automatically created tags, and that is why they are in the folder auto-generated. And then group, so for every group you make, you'll get this tag. So when anyone signs up for your Bible study group, they'll automatically get that tag. And you can also say who won't be part of it. So for example, if you wanted to say anyone who's part of the men's Bible study but does not have the tag Bible study dinner, like they haven't signed up for that event, you can do that here as part of the list, or you can segregate it more during your communication, which is great. So that's kind of how that lists are made. So you're not moving people around, but as you add tags and remove tags from contacts, they'll move in and out of your lists. Now, you don't have to have a list to send out mass email or print, but this is kind of how you do it. So let's just say I wanted to shoot everybody an email that's in our men's Bible study. So I could just write that here. This is not going to include any transactions. I'm not going to use any of our templates. And then I'm just going to say, hey guys, Bible study is still on tonight despite the rain. Now, one thing I want to show up, if you hit enter, you'll get 2 lines. If you hit shift enter, it'll go directly to the next line. Just a little tidbit there. I'm actually not going to make out any printing, so then I'm going to configure and send email. Oh, all right. Now in our communication, there's a lot of settings that you can do. For example, if you don't want to email everybody right away, you can limit it to 100 to kind of see who opens and see if it's a good email. So a lot of these emails might be used for marketing. You can limit it to contacts who have not received an email from this list. So if you've emailed this list in the last X amount of days, don't email them again. Or if they've included this email already, or if they've already received this as a print. And now if you want to do any other filters, for example, you'll be able to grab different tags and say only email contacts that have these tags. So that would be people inside your list that have these tags but do not have these tags. And if you really want to get fancy, you can even tag people based on the actions they've taken. So this is going to get more into marketing, of course, than a quick email. So you don't have to do any of this, but you can tag people if they've accepted it or clicked on it or unsubscribed. So those are some pretty cool options if you're doing some really fine tuning on your marketing emails. Oops. Hey, this is a really good thing here. So I didn't mean to do this, but earlier we saw that the Bible study list only had 1 person in it. So why is it showing me that tons of people are going to receive this email? So it's really good that we have this confirmation screen here. So let me go back here and edit the communication. It's because I didn't even choose the list. I sent it to everyone. So let's get that Bible study list back up there. There we go. All right. Good thing the system kind of does some self-checks for you. There you go. So the only person that's going to get this is Demo Giver 5, as you saw before, and lots of other people are not going to get it, whether it's because they have no email, they're not included in the filter tags. And then you can just go ahead and you can send the email. And then maybe you want to view the summary. So here it's just letting you know that the email's queued. In a couple minutes it would get sent out. And then it'll even let you know when people have clicked on them, opened them, so you can really get fine-tuned there. Now, let's just say, hey, okay, I sent the email, but I'm not sure people are checking their email. We've got an excellent mass SMS feature here that you can use, which is great. So you can do the same thing here and send out SMS messages. So again, in this one it would be the Bible study, and we would say Bible study is still on despite the rain. Because who's going to cancel because of a little rain, right? And then you go to next. And then we do let you do some limits. Again, kind of like in the email stuff. And you can also tag based on if it gets delivered or failed. And then you can also do some more filtering by only including people with specific tags and filtering out people with other tags, which we're not going to do right now. But you can really fine tune that. So it's just letting me know, all right, so who's going to get my text message? You can see there. And now let's go ahead and send the text message. So that's great. So that's a way that you can send mass emails and mass SMS messages, which is great. Now, the cool thing about the way this system works is people will get the SMS on their phone, and when they reply, it'll instantly let you as the admin know that they replied with a link, and then you'll be able to, it'll take you directly to the contacts SMS page. And you can also send SMSs from here as well. And it'll keep a chain of those messages. Now, the only reason it's not showing up under here is because it's not really sending an SMS out in our demo system, because we don't want people to abuse that. But the great thing is you'll be able to track all SMSs just like on your phone right here, and anything they reply back will be here as well. You'll also be able to send emails to an individual from here as well. Again, in our demo system, it doesn't really send the email out either. But again, you can come in and send emails or SMSs to people individually, or you can use, as I showed you, our mass email and print and our mass SMS system, which is pretty nice. You'll be able to do that. I should also state that you can use our mass email and print. We have a whole nother video on it, so I'm not going to go into a ton of detail, but you can use that for your contribution statements as well, which is really nice. So that way, the only real big difference between an email that you send out versus contribution statements is that with the contribution statement, we're going to limit it to include transactions between certain dates. And then based on the mail codes we've got, that's where we'll get things like the total amount of money received and all the different items. So you can always grab mail merge codes from here. So great thing about our communication system is you can use it for contributions and normal emails and marketing, or just letting people know of things. You can, like I said, we also have a more in-depth video on contribution statements specifically, so I'm not going to go into a ton of detail on that here. So that'll kind of end the communications part of this video. All right, let's take a little look at the different roles that we have. A lot of people ask, hey, can we have different admins and manage their logins? Absolutely. With Mission Pillars, you'll be able to do that. So right out of the gate, there's the organizational owner role and the organization contacts. Those are roles that you can't edit, but you're welcome to make your own roles. So for example, we have a limited admin. You can go in and you can just check what that role has access to. So you'll be able to use that. And then you can head over to users. Before I was in roles and now I'm in users. And then you can just move people from one role to the next. So when a contact is made, they get the role of organization contact, which is very limited. But I could move them to limited admin or organization owner. So that is how you make new roles and you add people or remove people from different roles. So we really hope that's helpful for you. All right, last but not least, child check-in. So I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about child check-in, and that's only because when you come here and click on the child check-in link, there's an excellent video that we've already made that walks you through it. So just come here, watch the video, purchase your printer, set up the printer, and let people do their self-service check-in, and this video will explain it all. Well, that's a wrap on our getting started video. I really hope that those tutorial videos that I made for you help get you started. I know that once you're in there, you may have some more detailed questions. You can always look at our different support articles and our support under your help. And you can also reach out to our customer service. You'll see the links under our help menu. So thank you very much. Have a great day and God bless.